Hello, in this video, I'll walk you through the onboarding checklist, setting up your first product, configuring a widget, and taking your first booking. So welcome to BTA. Once the app is installed, you'll be greeted by the onboarding banner as seen on this section. Take your time to go through each step and complete the setup. It's designed to walk you through everything you need to get up and running. So we'll look into the first step, which is enabling the theme extension. This is required in order for your booking widget to render on your storefront. Well, by clicking the Activate Embed button, you'll be redirected to your Shopify theme settings. As you can see, the message Booking Widgets Activated pops up. What you need to do is to click on the Save button, as seen at the top. Once the embed is turned on, you will head back and continue through the onboarding steps. We are now back to the onboarding page, and we will want to check the status of our theme extension. And since that passed, we will be moved on to the next second step, which is adding your first booking service. This second task or the second step allows you to create your first booking service, and you will be prompted to choose the type that best fits your business. As you can see, appointments are for booking appointments and products are for rental. Courses are for courses. Courses are for booking courses. Usually, these are classes that span more than one day. Tours and activities are for booking tours and activities, etc., etc. Now, this provides you with two options. You can either create from scratch or you can import from Shopify. Our first step would be to create from scratch since I do not have any products on Shopify. But if you do, clicking on import from Shopify should allow you to import a product that you've already created. For the purpose of this demo, I'll create from scratch. You will be redirected to the new services creation page. And for the purpose of my demo, I will create an appointment booking type. I will title this as a test appointment. If you have any variants, which include multiple options like different sizes and colors, you can include that. I will be skipping that section for today. And then you will set up your pricing. I will set my pricing at $60. You can set a compared price and you can choose to charge tax on the product. Then the next setting is capacity. Capacity controls the number of bookings that can be received within any given time window. For this demo, I will set my capacity to 10. So that means I can take 10 customers within that specific window. The next setting is duration, and duration controls the time window within which a booking will run. For my demo, test appointment, the time window will be 1 hour, and I will leave that as that. Lead and lag times. This setting are buffers placed at the beginning and after the booking. While these buffers will not show up on the booking calendar, BTA is aware of them and uses them to prevent overbooking. For this demo, I will set my lead time to just 1 day and I'll keep my lag time as 0. As for the lead and lag times, I did mention that BTA is aware of them and uses them to prevent overbookings, but please be quite cautious of them. For example, if your capacity is 1 and you set both your lead and lag times as 1 day, no bookings could be made the day before, the day of, or the day after an existing booking. So please be mindful of the settings as they directly impact your availability. Next, date picker settings. Here you have your cutoff days and your future days. So cutoff days really defines how close to the current date a customer can book. For example, a 1 day cutoff means customers cannot book for today, while future days defines how far ahead availability is shown. So for this purpose, I will set this to 90 days, which is equals to 3 months. So another thing to note as well, if both your cutoff days and your future days match, no availability will be shown on the widget at all. And if you leave your future days as blank, your calendar will show availability as an open-ended evergreen calendar, allowing customers to book as far in advance as they'd like. Usually, a couple merchants like to keep this as open-ended. Another thing to note within setting up the products, you will see that there's tooltips that provide you information on the specific settings. So anytime you're a bit lost, you can click on the tooltips. Some of them include articles, as seen, for example, for the capacity. You can preview the articles as well to provide you with more information. Calendar settings essentially allow you to set a booking color for the cards that represent bookings within your overview calendar. So once you're happy with your settings, we will proceed to save. Amazing. You see a pop-up that a product has been saved. Once you do that, we will go back to the onboarding checklist again. As you can see, step 2 has been done and it's already been checked out for you. We will proceed to step 3 or task 3 if you'd like. Step 3 includes creating your fast booking widget. The widget essentially is the calendar that displays on your storefront to allow your customers to select dates and proceed to creating a booking. As seen within task 3, you will click on the Create My Widget button and this should redirect you to the widget page. Now, as you can see, this defaulted to the appointment booking widget because the first product you created was an appointment booking type product. So you can quickly proceed to just saving the widget because this automatically defaults to the appointment booking type, which is the first booking type product that you created. When we go back, we can see that the appointment widget has already been created and saved for you. So we will get into reviewing our appointment widget and we'll click back into this. If you want to apply any further customizations, you can do so here. This allows you to enable any settings you want to use as well. You can also include any specific services. If you want to show the widget for just a specific service, you can do that here. Usually we leave this to recommended or all services if you will be running the widget the same for all your appointment. One important thing to check is to ensure that within the Services tab, make sure that All Services option is selected, as this ensures that the widget displays across all appointment type products. If you prefer to send the widget to a specific product only, you can select that product under the selected services only. So just be aware that if you use the selected services, option, but no product is assigned, the widget will not render for any product. So always make sure that a selection is made. And as usual, the recommended option is to ensure this is selected as the all services. Now you can also update your translations. You can also update your translation section. So this allows you to change the default text that would display within the widget. For example, by default, we have this section that says select date. You can change that to state, for example, choose appointment slot, for example. Always be sure to save your changes as well. Now, once you're done with the widget, we'll go back to the onboarding section and we can see that the third task, which was create your fast booking widget, has already been checked. And now finally, the last step would be to style the widget. So when it comes to styling, BTA provides you with this branding section within the app where you can completely style your booking widget to match your store's look and feel. So this allows you essentially to update the aesthetics of the widget. And the options we have are customize your colors, fonts, button styles, etc. And to do that, we'll proceed to go to branding. And this has redirected us to the branding page. And you should be able to update any of the settings. For example, for the purpose of this demo, I will change the inactive text color to green. And as you can see, the states are inactive because they're past and the text has switched up to green. So after doing that and saving, we will proceed back to our onboarding task list. And as you can see, all the 4 tasks have been completed, and that means you have finished up your onboarding process. So you can close onboarding and this will collapse the onboarding section. Now, the additional setting we will do is we will preview your operating hours. So operating hours allow you to control time slots shown within the booking page for your customer. And to do that, we'll proceed into settings and proceed to operating hours. You will see that there's always a default operating hour here called earlier that applies to all services, and it usually runs from January 1st to December 31st, and it's scheduled 9 to 5 by default. So this should allow you to switch up the dates and the times as well. For example, for our service test appointment, if this will be running, for example, only Mondays and Tuesdays, we will close all the other days and keep Monday and Tuesdays open. You can tweak up your form in the 2 hours to match the hours you should be taking bookings for that specific service as well. We also have another more detailed video on operating hours, so feel free to preview that in article. Another setting within BDA that I want to make you aware of is resources, and to preview that, you will click on settings and proceed to resources as well. So resources are essentially shared capacities that you can connect across products when those products share the same exact resource. For example, if we have a bus or a vehicle or a classroom, you can configure this within here as well. So I'll cover resources in more detail in a separate section, but it's good to be aware of them from the start so that you know how to implement them as well, especially within the capacity section. Now, finally, the last step that we need to do is to preview services. We will preview the appointment service that we created on the storefront. And to do that, I'll click on the test appointment and click on the view button section. On the product page, we ran into a small issue where we see that this displays are sold out. And this might happen some instances. So what to do here is you want to ensure that all your BTA products, the inventory is set to untracked, and I will guide you on how to do that briefly. And to do that, we will go back to the product page. For example, here we will select our test appointment product or service. As you can see, it says 0 in stock. So what we want to do is to disable inventory tracking, and this is usually done within this section. And additionally, you want to disable the physical product section as well, because this is not a physical product. And what this does is it ensures that within the checkout section, your customer is not requested for the shipping details. Now I will proceed back to the product page on the storefront. Now we're back on the product page on the storefront, and as you can see, we are now able to see the widget, and availability is on Monday and Tuesday as we set up within the operating hours. Inactive text is set to green as we set up on the branding section of the app. And your customers should now be able to select a day, select a time range. As you can see, it's currently set to 1 hour, and proceed to book now. So that is it for your onboarding. There are many more settings available in the app that help you capture your bookings and display availability as you need. Please feel free to also preview the non-embedded option of the app, which is as seen on the page we're currently on. This is different from the embedded page of the app that we were working on previously. And you can preview as many settings as possible within the app as necessary. And that's it for our onboarding demonstration. Feel free to write into us anytime you need support via support@BookThatApp.com, and we'll be happy to help. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.